For these limits, when you plug in the indicated x value, you get a 0 in the denominator. And then in these two examples, we have one polynomial on top and another polynomial on the bottom. Most likely, you will have to factor the top and bottom completely, do some cancellation, and then after the cancellation, you will be able to do a plug-in and then evaluate the limit. So the one on the left requires factor by group. So let's get started. So we have the limits written one more time. And then for factor by groups, we will group the first two terms and the last two terms. Usually, we have to arrange them in a descending order. What type of descending order? Depending on the exponent. So third degree, second degree, first degree, and the linear term. So for the factor by groups, I will just go ahead and do this. I will group the first two terms and the last two terms. So this one, let me do it carefully. First two terms and last two terms. Now, tell me, after adding the parenthesis to the 2x plus 10, do I have to make some changes? Do I? Or is this already correct? I have a minus and I add a parenthesis. Do I need to change some signs inside the parenthesis? The answer is yes, because after you add it, the second parenthesis, you will have to change that to a minus. Then when you distribute the minus, you have a minus 2x and a plus 10. Minus gives you back to the plus. So if the sign between the two parentheses is a plus, then you don't need to change anything. When I make a test, I always make a minus. Oh, by the way, if you forgot to change the plus back to a minus, this problem cannot be solved if you make such mistakes. All right, so let's do a factor by group. So let me write this down for you. So that is factor by groups, right? So I should put this in orange and then call this factor by groups. All right, back to the green. Now we do the work. So limit as x approaches to 5. So we will factor as much as we can. Then that will be a 4x squared, right? 4x squared. And then we will have a x minus 5. So now you can see the 5 is my enemy. And then minus 2, x minus 5, right? And then the top, 3x squared minus 14x minus 5. Use whatever factor technique you like. So that gives me a x minus 5 and a 3x plus 1. You cannot just do a cancellation like this. That is completely wrong. You have to factor one more time. Do we agree that the 4x squared and the minus 2, they both share the same factor? Then we will have to factor it out. Okay, next step, then we have to write limit first. And then we factor out the x minus 5. After that, then you have a 4x squared minus 2. And then we have x minus 5. And then a 3x plus 1. So now we can do the cancellation. Cancel. Now we are safe to plug in. So you plug in a 5. Then you have 625 times 4. That is 100. 100 minus 2. That is a 98. And then the top 15 plus 1 is 16. You can take that as the final answer. I'm fine with that on the test. You don't have to reduce the fraction. But when you do homeworks online, they often require you to, reduce the fraction all the way to the end, like 4 over 449. But on my written test in class, I accept both. But when you do homeworks online, be very careful. If you say 16 over 98, they might say that is wrong. All right, you have to reduce all the way to the end. Okay, moving on to the red one. We have the factor by groups on top, but what about the bottom? The bottom is not 4, is not x squared, that is x to the 4th. So when you plug in a root 6, then that becomes a 36 minus 36. So do you still remember this? If I ask you to do a x squared minus 36, so this will be a squared minus b squared, right? Then that is a plus b and a minus b. So which is x plus 6 and then x minus 6. So if this is a x to the to the 4th power minus 36, so that is equals to x squared plus 6 and then x squared minus 6. All right, how about the top? The top we have x to the 3rd plus 3x squared minus 6x, and then minus 18, and then we do factor by groups, right? So factor by groups, we will just group the first two terms and then group the last two terms. Did I miss anything? Yep, plus 18, right? Distribute the minus, you get your minus 6 and then your minus 18, and then you factor as much as we can, like x squared, so we have x plus 3. And then minus 6, and then we have our x plus 3, right? Oh, I can see it. X squared minus 6, that get rid of that in the bottom. So that equals to, you factor our x plus 3, and then you have x squared minus 6. Then we will have to use this and this, right? So overall, we have limit as x approaches to root 6, and then the numerator, we have x plus 3, and then x squared minus 6, and then the denominator, we have x squared plus 6, and then times x squared minus 6. See it? So this one is our enemy, right? After you cancel that, you have 6 plus 6 in the denominator. So that is equals to 6 plus 6, and then 6 plus 3, you have a 9, you have a 12. I accept this on written test in my class, but when you do homework online, they will ask you to factor all the way to the end, so 3 over 4, but I will box both because like when I grade exams, I don't require people to reduce fraction, but when you do works online, the system wants you to do it, not me. They want you to do it, then you have to do it. All right, so that's it for this video. If you like it, give me a like. I will see you all in the next one. Signing up.